Welcome to the Bay Insider with Amanda and Ying, where we talk about history, lifestyle, and real estate in the San Francisco Bay Area. Hello, and welcome back to the Bay Insider. Today, I am here with Ying and Tina Chen, who is a client of mine who lives in Lower Pacific Heights, which is the neighborhood that we're going to be talking about today. And I'm really excited to have her here because we worked together for a while. How long was it that we worked together?
It was about a year before we found this place. Yeah,
it was quite a search. We were looking all over. And Tina is a critical care specialist and pulmonologist. She works at UCSF. You do some teaching as well, and lots of different things. So very important job. Also a wonderful person to be around. Great sense of humor. Delightful. Being that we were working together for a whole year, that was a good thing, right? Because you didn't get tired.
Yeah, life a lot more interesting.
And originally, was your first home in the city in Lower Pacific Heights?
Yeah. So that was part of the reason why I liked this area, because this was the first area that I settled and then realized how easy it is for me to get anywhere. And thank you so much for really guiding me through that whole 1 year process, because I definitely was
meandering
straying from my original objective a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a while you were looking with other people to get a multi-unit building, and then there was a lot of maintenance regarding those types of buildings. And then we were looking in different neighborhoods, but everything kind of came back to Lower Pacific Heights. I felt like you were really drawn to the area.
Yeah.
And
when I first moved to the city, I settled here. But when we were looking, I was hoping to be closer to the parks and easy,
the inner sunset,
sunset or Nopa, because I wanted my dog to have the trees and the parks.
But, we were looking at stuff by the Panhandle, by the park.
Yeah.
So
we just always end up coming back here.
Yeah.
Didn't we go up to Proturo too at some point?
I think so. I mean, we were all over the place. I feel like we looked everywhere.
Don't feel bad. It's actually very common.
But the crazy part was the multi-unit buildings.
Yes.
We found some places that were interesting. I remember one of them that was over by the park, and it needed a lot of work. Remember that place? It was an off-market place, not livable at all. It was right on Lincoln.
On Lincoln.
It needed a lot of work. So now the place that you landed in, it's a beautiful place with incredible views.
It's lovely.
You can see Pacific Heights, Lower Pacific Heights, which brings me to kind of the geography of the neighborhood. So for anybody who's listening, who's not familiar with Lower Pacific Heights, it's basically the southernmost part of the northern part of the city. To the north directly, you have Pacific Heights, which is very fancy, the fanciest houses in San Francisco, overlooking the water. And then we are to the west of Nob Hill and to the north of the Lower Fillmore / Western Addition area and east of Laurel Heights. Right. So that's kind of geographically where we are. So this neighborhood got a lot of turn of the century houses. So you've got a lot of Victorians built before 1900 that withstood the earthquakes. And then the fire that went after that. I don't know if you've been to Cottage Row.
Which section is it?
It's at the edge of Japantown in Lower Pac Heights. It's called Cottage Row Mini Park. It's a historic district. And it has Victorian houses there that have been there since the 1800s. Yeah. They're teeny tiny. I've been inside of them. They were built by William Hollis. The park stretches from Sutter to Bush Streets between Webster and Fillmore.
Yeah, I know where
I've been there. Okay. Yeah. I just don't know the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a really cute little strip. And I mean, these houses are teeny tiny. I've been in there when they were for sale. And they're just really cute, but definitely sized for that age of time.
Tiny closets.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no closets.
Or no closets. Yeah, that's definitely a Victorian thing. It's interesting because you have a mix of architecture, right? You have these old turn of the century houses. Then you also have older apartment buildings like from the 70s. The neighborhood has a lot of diversity of architecture. So you have a lot of the older apartment buildings, turn of the century buildings, and also a lot of like this building that we're in now, which is more of a modern construction apartment building. So I think because of that diversity of architecture, that you definitely get a diversity of the people that are living in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
I think Lower Pack Heights is one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the city. Wouldn't you
think
say,
so?
in terms of demographics?
Probably. I mean, that makes sense, right? Because when you go out, there's more Asian.
Yeah.
And then, maybe.
I mean, I feel like there's a good mix, and you have the history, right? Japantown, you have a larger Japanese population, African American population that moved into the neighborhood during wartime. Really, there was a lot of African American movement, which was part of the Great Migration from the South, moving out here and then taking on wartime industry jobs in the area. And then in terms of types of jobs, Mount Zion is here, you have UCSF, you
Kaiser's down the street.
Kaiser, so a lot of medical.
Yeah.
So like you get in the Coal Valley area, people who are over at USF.
And I think Lower
UCSF.
Pack Heights is used to be a blue collar neighborhood. It's not like upper class like Pack Heights. So the people are probably supporting Pack Heights. So you get a more mix. That's what I think.
Yeah, and there's a high density. I mean, it's much more dense in this area than it is in a lot of the further out neighborhoods.
Yep.
So, so kind of that's the architecture and housing. And I think there's a higher percentage of renters in Lower Pacific Heights than
That makes sense,
a lot
right?
of other neighborhoods. I think it's like 70% renter, 30% owner.
Oh, is that right?
In the neighborhood in general. This neighborhood used to be known as Upper Fillmore.
Okay.
And they kind of rebranded it in the 90s and called it Lower Pacific Heights, trying to give it a little bit more of a Tony kind of a name to attach it to Pacific Heights. It has a great history. Japantown being part of Lower Pacific Heights is really interesting. You know, there was, after the 1906 earthquake, that's when a lot of the Japanese population moved into Japantown. Before 1906, San Francisco had two Japantowns. That's something new that I learned. One was near Chinatown and one was in the south of Market area. So then after they moved here, there was this one. And then also in South Park area, there was another kind of small Japantown. And then, of course, during World War II, we had the horrible, shameful internment camps. So a lot of people emptied out, and then you had a lot of the African-American families moving here, like I was talking about.
If you walk down the whole area, there are all these plaques talking about the Japantown history and memorials.
Yeah, and they probably do walking tours. Like a lot of the neighborhoods, they do walking tours. At one point, at the height of the Japantown era, there was over 5,000 ethnic Japanese people and over 200 Japanese-owned businesses.
That was big.
Yeah, that was big. Yeah. So that's kind of died back, but then it kind of came back to life a little bit. You know, in the 60s, they did a lot of buildings and things that are in Japantown, more specifically a Japanese style. And then in 1957, San Francisco became a sister city with Osaka, which we were for many, many years. Does anybody know when we stopped being a sister city or why?
Did we stop?
Yes.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, the mayor of Osaka in 2018 decided to end our 60-year relationship with them as a sister city because then Mayor Ed Lee approved of a statue for the comfort women.
Oh yeah, I mean that's very controversial.
Yes,
that's probably because of that.
Are you guys familiar with the comfort women?
It's so disgusting.
Yes. For anybody who's listening who doesn't know what the comfort women of World War II was, it was women who were basically forced into sex work, right? Yeah. There was like 400,000 consistently. And they were from Korea, Philippines,
Taiwan, all of South Asia too.
Yeah, China.
Japanese too, actually. There's some Japanese.
Right. Yeah, and so that was the Japanese Imperial Army. And Japan says, no, that was Korean pimps that were running that whole thing. We don't take responsibility for that. And so, I mean, that's my understanding.
Yes. They wrote a whole history book. So yes, absolutely.
They have apologized.
They did. At least from the thing that I read.
Okay.
Said that it was all run by these Korean pimps. The Japanese Imperial Army oversaw it, but it wasn't their idea or something of that nature. Some sort of way of shuffling responsibility was my understanding from what I read. apologies if I'm getting this at all wrong.
Yeah.
No, you're not getting it wrong. It's absolutely right.
So then the mayor of Japan at the time said, hey, we've already apologized for this. You don't have to keep rubbing our face in it and make a big statue, commemorating it. And so if you're going to do that and try to besmirch our name, then, we don't need to be sister cities anymore.
Very dramatic.
It's like in Asian culture, basically, you don't say things. You just pretend nothing
Keep it
happened.
quiet.
Keep it quiet, shuffle it down, and pretend nothing happened, and that's pretty much what it was. And you don't build a statue to, talk about it.
It's a little generalizing, though.
Yeah.
Well, this one obviously is, right?
Well, in this particular situation. So, yeah.
And that's too bad.
That is too bad. So we're no longer a sister city with Osaka.
Okay.
Now we're a sister city with, we have a lot of sister cities, I guess, but we're with Lisbon. I think we're sister city in Portugal.
Yeah.
So that's our other one. But anyways, I digress. So
that's a tragic piece of history.
it is a tragic piece of history.
It happened, right?
Yeah,
let's pretend it didn't.
It's reality. But now we have Japantown there, and it is vibrant, and a lot of people go there. And we'll talk when we get to the restaurants and things a little bit more about that. One of the other interesting bits about this neighborhood is 1709 Broderick Street. Do you remember the show Full House?
Yes, down the street.
That's the Full House house.
Yes.
I was driving by, people are taking pictures.
Yeah.
No,
so
even my nieces came and took pictures.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the claim to fame,
Yeah.
like a famous type of thing about the neighborhood. And that house last sold for $4 million in 2016. Architect is Charles Lewis Hinkle.
Okay.
And it was built in 1883. And it was on the market last year for a while, I think. They took it off. But last I could see it, I think it's coming back to market. So you can buy it somewhere around $6 million, I think.
It's
back on the market?
It's going to be. It's not back on the market yet. Maybe by the time this goes into podcast,
is it because people keep taking pictures of it?
Yeah, I don't know.
The show was not filmed inside the house. It was just the outside.
One episode was filmed inside.
Yeah.
The rest was all just the opening. So most of it was not filmed inside. Most of it was filmed in LA. Famous house nonetheless. People imagine them being inside. Anybody else have any historical tidbits to add?
I added kabuki in our notes. AMC kabuki.
Oh, yeah.
Because kabuki used to be a landmark of Japantown, the whole area. It was supposed to be the theater to go to, right? Because you could have a drink, you could have food.
Oh, I loved it back in the day when it first came around.
That's what I'm saying. Nowadays, it's less popular because we got many other options now.
Like sitting in your living room.
Yes.
that too. But I'm just saying, like, the Regal Theater in Stonestown is pretty good. There are a few other places.
But the place on Mission Street.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking
cinema.
They do this like battered cauliflower that's so good, like with spices. Alamo Draft House. And that was so unique when they first came out. It was a different type of experience, which is similar to what Kabuki did even earlier.
Exactly.
Where you had drinks and
drinks and you can have a whole meal. And, and they come and they take your order at your seat and bring you out the stuff.
Yeah.
Does the AMC still do that here?
Yeah, you can get drinks and food here.
I didn't know that.
You should try it sometime.
Oh,
I mean, but it's not as, because now it feels older and less popular. It's not as well maintained.
It's not as hip.
Yeah, back in the days, that was a theater to go to.
Yeah, I remember when they first did that because nobody was doing that. And it was like, I can have a beer while I'm watching my movie.
Wow, you can go everywhere to
I
do
didn't
that.
know that.
Yeah, so it's a nice place. And I checked out Kabuki because I'm like, what does Kabuki mean? Because I didn't know. So now I look at it, it was like, it says it's a classical form of Japanese theater. Yeah, so it reminds me of like Kyoto, where they have those Ginza performance. That's my understanding of it.
Ing just recently got back from Japan.
Yeah, I was in Kyoto, so that reminds me of Kyoto. But Kyoto is right next to Osaka, which makes sense. Kabuki is a landmark.
Okay. And the spa there, the Kabuki.
That's also nice.
Springs and Spa. It's been around forever. I don't know what year it started, but the theater and the spa. I mean, back when I was a kid, it was a big deal. And Kabuki is still a great spa to go to. They do the whole traditional style thing. Have either of you been there?
It's a very traditional Japanese bathhouse where you get, the washing station, the pool, and all that. but I add a couple more here as a new or different options for the area. I added the Imperial Spa, which is on the other side of Gary, right by Jane's Bakery, Korean Royal Spa. It's more of a low-key, bare bone kind of place, but you get fantastic scrubs.
They beat you with things? Or?
No,
They scrub you?
They scrub your skin. You guys never been?
I never been.
All right,
I've been to a Korean spa, but I've never been to
this
this one.
Yeah, so the big thing about Korean spa is where they scrub the skin, the top layer of your skin. It's really good for blood circulation. It's really good for your skincare and everything. So Korean women do that very often. So at Imperial Spa, you have men and women separately. You have men's section and women's section, and there's a room that's called I forgot the name, but it's a herbal medication all around the room, the hot stone room. So you actually get detox in that room. So it's pretty cool. So that's a low-key place. Kabuki was a traditional place where you have men days and women days. So you can't go all the time. You got to figure out the schedule. It's very nice and Japanese. Then you got the Pearl Spa, which is my favorite. It's on Post, right in the middle of Japantown. That's women only. And it's Pearl Spa. It's like fancy, very beautiful.
Have you been there? All these spas you need to go to now.
All the spas I have visited.
You spend a lot of time at spas, I see.
Yeah, I do. But that's also a Korean thing, but it's high end, very clean. You got sauna, the hot and cold pool, wet sauna, wet and dry. And then you got rock room. Then you got the salt room. It's all different heated room. Where you
no one's scrubbing you though.
You have scrub too.
Okay.
If you want to do that, or you don't have to. You can get a massage, which is fantastic. So the secret is out. That place is always booked.
So that's the Pearl Spa, and that's the upper end one. So the one that's more affordable, bare bones Korean spa. What's that one called?
Imperial.
Imperial next to the Jane's Bakery.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were just there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're next door. But the price difference is not huge, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I went to the Kabuki Spa one time, and I didn't know what it was like.
Right.
I was only used to just regular American spa.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Yeah. And then they stuck me in a steam egg. I don't know if you guys have been in a steam egg where only your head is outside of it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it's like an egg. Yeah, and you get in there. But then they left me in the room and I was locked in the steam egg. And I started having a panic attack in this steam egg, and I couldn't get myself out.
Yeah,
it was so hot.
Yeah.
So it was kind of not a great experience, but that was my own problem.
You probably didn't do
it. It's a personal issue.
Yeah. You probably ordered some
That's
service.
Scary, though. I don't think
kind of creepy. It was kind of creepy.
I wouldn't want to do
But that's not the spa's fault. That was my own.
No. But if you have questions about spas, do ask.
Yeah.
Amy's
the one to talk to about spas. Clearly.
We're talking about historic buildings. You can't go in to see, but the Zion Hospital was one of the first Jewish hospital in the city.
Oh, really?
You could see the new building and the old building. The old building, I think the history is probably better than what I'm describing, but I think it was because back in the days, the Jewish population wasn't allowed to go to certain hospitals, so a group of people came and built the hospital, and over the years it became established the hospital. The actual older building, we don't see patients in there anymore because of the building code.
What is it? Is it used for anything? Or
it's an office building.
Oh, okay.
But then it's connected to the actual operation of the building.
Do you have any idea what year that was built?
I'm going to look it up. There's a whole display within the hospital. It was founded in 1887.
Oh, wow.
For the purpose of aiding the indigent sick without regard to race or creed.
Oh, that's a cool history.
Yeah, and supported by the Jewish community.
Yeah, there's a Jewish Children's Services, I think, is right around there.
And then I think across the street on Post Street, there's a library too.
Yeah, I'm not Jewish, but I used to take my son to the program that they had.
Yeah.
That was really good, really well run.
JCC's close by too, right?
JCC's
the
hill,
Laurel Village. So there's a lot of neighborhoods that are right near here, like Nopa, right north of Panhandle, where you got all the stuff down to Visadero. But going back to this neighborhood, Jane the bakery, I went there this morning. I had a lovely thing that had like a rose petal cream inside of it. It was like a
Wow.
brioche. That was delicious.
Yeah.
And then brought those other little things for you. But in terms of restaurants in the area, what are your guys' favorites? Where do you go, Tina?
You told me I can't gatekeep anymore. So where I am, walkable wise, I mean, definitely go to Japan Center a lot for all the Japanese food in there. My two favorite would be Matina, which is up on, I guess this is Bush Street, and Fillmore. Great Italian food, easy to have a drinks, no frills, but very good food. Matina, Mattina. And then Routier up on California and Divisadero. It's a French bistro.
Yeah.
Great drinks, good food.
Okay.
Always go there. And then Little Shucker, which is a oyster place. I know you listed the Wood House.
Yeah.
But Little Shucker is newer and it has happy hour oyster.
Oh, I like that. It's like $1 or $2 each.
It's about $2 each.
Okay.
And then the Wood House Seafood has a ad on the bus station right outside Little Shucker. It said, come to us if you want seafood. So those two places, those are the three places in this area that I go to a lot.
Okay.
And then obviously if you go down to Divisadero, where there's the barbecue place on the street.
The 45.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember.
The one in Nopa, right? 45.
Yeah, down the street.
Yeah.
And there's a good udon place down there called Kombu, I think.
Okay.
Kombu. How do you spell that? Do you know?
Kombo, I think.
Yeah. One of my favorite places, I haven't been there in a long time, but I used to go to Florio Bar and Cafe that opened in 1988, and it's the same owner as Bix in the financial district. Have you guys been to Bix?
I think so.
It's really cool. It's got like a cool ambiance to it. But yeah, Florio, that used to be kind of my special occasion place. But gosh, it's been 20 years since that was the case, so...
You don't go out for special occasions?
I do go out for special occasions, but as people probably know, I now live in the North Bay, so nice.
Ooh. Does Brenda Meats and 3 on Divisadero?
I think that's Nopa.
That's Nopa?
Yeah, because it's anything that's south of Erie is going to be Nopa.
Okay.
But hey, it's not hard to get to from here.
It's totally walkable.
I think the barbecue place too is technically Nopa.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because
415? Is it 415?
451 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, some number.
Copra, that's also on your list. It's a great
I love it.
What do you guys like about it?
So it used to be Dosa. Dosa was a very big
Indian restaurant,
right? So they had 2 locations, one here, one on Valencia. They closed this one here and sat around for a little bit, and now it's Copra.
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's Indian food. It's still Indian food, but it's a high-end Indian food. The cocktails are great. The food is more elevated, I would say. Right, Tina? Wouldn't you say it's just a little different from traditional Indian? It's a little more...
That's great food,
upscale.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to get a reservation, by the way.
Oh, really?
You better book far ahead. At least one. Yeah.
I have always been able to get a table.
Really?
Yeah.
I always had trouble.
Well, maybe you go on the weekend and you go on a week.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, maybe now it's a little better. But I just remember when first opened, just couldn't get a reservation. Yeah.
Or maybe Tina gets to cut to the front.
Maybe she gets
she's a local.
No, if I go
Did you just walk in or what?
I haven't walked in, but the few times I've gone, larger party size. So maybe because I call instead of using the apps to make reservations.
That might be the trick because I always use the app, Open Table, whatnot.
Insider tip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Call them.
Jane Bakery also has a restaurant up on Fillmore.
Really?
Yeah, Jane. But I think on Fillmore, my favorite would be Little Shucker.
Okay. I need to try that. I love oysters. So State Bird is another place I always want to try, but again,
that's a place you can't get a table.
I was going to say the reason I haven't tried is because I can't get a table.
Sweet Maple. That's a great breakfast spot.
Yeah.
Do you go there other times of the day?
Yeah. No, you just go for breakfast. It closes around 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nari, have you been to Nari?
Been to Nari.
Very interesting, right?
Yeah, very good food.
Yeah.
What is it? Tell us.
It's like Thai.
It's Thai, fusion Thai-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's
they used to
expensive,
own this
though.
place. It is. They used to own this place in Union Square. It was a Michelin star restaurant, and that closed, and they opened this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's Thai, but it's not traditional Thai.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it hard to get into?
No, not so much. It's pretty big. This one's pretty big, and it's expensive. So no.
Okay.
And we haven't talked about Bee Patisserie.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, that's right there in
Yes.
California.
Yeah, in
Pacific.
California.
California.
Mhm.
That's awesome place.
And they have the bakery, and then they have the other little
The sandwich shop.
sandwich shop that
Yeah.
has some good banh mi. I like the vegetarian banh mi they
They have
do.
Yeah.
banh mi too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
But definitely try the French place, Routier, which is next to Bee Patisserie.
Okay.
And then Matina. Again, actually don't go, so I think.
Well, because too popular, and you can't get
Yeah.
ready.
Right?
Yeah.
What are the restaurant?
So I want to talk about ramen a little bit. It's
Okay.
Japantown. Well, actually, we want to talk about sushi too, but let's talk about ramen a little bit. There's so many places, and there are a few I like. Then I'm sure Tina, you have more. So Marafuku, the one in Japantown, the upper level one, is very popular. Always a long line. But that one right across from the bookstore. That one is very, very good. Very authentic ramen. My kids really like Suzy Noodle House, which is lower level, just below that.
Oh yeah.
That one it has been our favorite for many years. Then there's Waroku. It's on Post, and there are a few others pretty good as well.
So definitely in the neighborhood to go get a ramen fix. Yeah?
Absolutely. So where would you go for sushi? That would be my question.
Sushi wise, there's a train sushi that I like
Okay.
within Japan Center. I think the name is Tenroko.
Is it one by the bookstore?
Yeah, the one
Okay.
across the
Mhm.
hall.
What do you mean train sushi?
So
like the boats?
the
No.
conveyor belt
The
sushi.
belt
oh,
goes
okay.
around that one.
But it's similar to the boats. But
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
same,
it's just,
same
you just
concept.
grab whatever
Right,
food you
right.
want from the belt.
Yeah. Okay.
That one. There's a place that I haven't been able to try, which is Oma in the mall itself. It just has like one counter
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and no restaurant fixture, but it's supposedly very fancy place.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one's hard to get in, I think. Akira, which is on the other side, I think it's on Pine. That's actually really good. I tried recently, very fresh and pretty good sushi as well.
It's on Pine.
I think it's on Pine.
What is it called?
Akira.
Akira.
And I like the place called Kushinbo. It's on the other side of the Japantown Center, right above Daiso. Now let's talk about Daiso a little bit. Everyone is a fan of Daiso, right? She's laughing. I know that. So tell us about Daiso.
Well, I do a lot of punch needle crafting now,
Okay.
and then they actually have good yarn to use.
I
and-
bet.
Oh,
I
really?
bet. You know much about Daiso?
I do. Stores like that make my head spin, and
Yeah.
like the minute I walk into them, I have to leave. So I don't spend much time.
Yeah.
But a lot of people love
There.
Daiso.
Yes, that is true.
And I mean, the for people who don't know, the major attraction of Daiso is everything is fairly reasonably priced. Used to be $1, then it's $1.50, now it's probably $3,
Like everything.
like everything else. But it's still very reasonably priced, where you can get everything
Mhm.
from food to kitchen stuff to cleaning
Containers.
supplies. Yeah,
Crafting supplies.
exactly. Crafting supplies. Always.
It's just an everything store.
It's just like
Yeah.
it's an
Everything.
everything store.
Yeah. How about
What is the equivalent? It's like a
Like,
smaller
like
version
Dollar
of
Tree?
Target.
It's kind of like what's
Nicer
that?
than a Dollar Tree.
Well, maybe there's
Utensils.
nothing like it. Maybe
There's nothing like it.
I'm
That's
thinking
probably
like
true.
a smaller version of IKEA. IKEA has
Okay.
food and furniture
Yeah.
and
They
plans.
don't have like
They don't
big
have
furniture
furniture.
like that.
So
They
I don't
don't
think
sofa
have big-
beds or
No. This is all household.
yeah, same
small
kind of
things.
concept.
Yeah, like has
For
little
on a
bit of-
different scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's Benihana. I'm sure you guys been there.
I have never been to Benihana.
I've not been to Benihana.
What? What?
Yeah. I know some people who it's like their favorite place to go. I mean, I guess they put on quite a show, right? They're like slicing and dicing
It's
and
all
flipping.
about the
And
show.
Yeah.
The food is okay. I think food was just okay, but it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's super entertaining. If you go with a large group, it's super.
Yeah,
fun.
I could imagine it being fun. It's not really my thing personally. Like, I don't need to be entertained. I'd rather have better tasting food. But I can see a situation where that would be fun if you were with a group of people for sure.
Yeah.
And kids, I know
Kids love that. It's
Absolutely
like kids' birthday plays, and you wear the hat. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, flying numbers.
There's a Daeho. Daeho Kabijim. Yes. See,
This is so good.
everyone's crazy about that place.
It's a Korean soup place.
Okay.
And their soup comes in white because they cook the bone broth to that density.
Huh.
It doesn't,
Wow.
and if you bring it home, put it in the fridge, it doesn't. It becomes a jelly.
Yeah,
because it's
all
so
the fat.
dense.
Yeah.
Not the fat.
No,
the
fat.
the
It's not the fat.
collagen.
It's collagen.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really good.
is it? So it tastes good because mostly that sounds really awful to me.
Yeah,
To be honest, like it's
Just more like a vegetarian.
It's a soup. It's a soup.
So it comes with a big pot. It's beef based mostly. It's a lot of beef stew.
Uh-huh.
And you can add vegetables, rice cakes, cheese even. Cheese is a big one.
Is it one of these ones where you go and you tell them put that in it, put that in it?
No, they cook it. They cook
They cook it, but you do ask them to cook, tell like their options.
The things you want.
Things you want on there as a topping.
It's not a hot pot. It's not a shabu place.
Right, they cook it for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's soup, and then they also have the
sides.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like that, but just hearing the word gelatinous makes it stomach turn.
Don't think that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Just think about it's collagen. It's good for your skin. It's good for your bones.
I need help with the skin. Maybe I'll have it.
It's like a supplement.
Okay, fair enough. So that's good. And then I know you like a lot of the sweets places over there.
There are a lot of those matcha ice cream places in Japantown.
Oh, I do like matcha ice cream.
And those fish things. What do you call it?
The Swedish fish?
No. It's like pancake.
Oh, the ice cream thing
yes,
with the like fish cone.
That's
it's like a soft kind of fish cone.
Yeah,
Look, it's not made of actual fish.
It's like a shade of fish. Yeah, it's
where is it?
You know, just where you get matcha. There are a few places where you get matcha.
Inside the mall.
Yeah, inside the mall.
Wow,
so it's a fish and matcha ice cream.
I did not know that.
I remember we got that. My son got that. He was really young. He must have been like 3 or something. Yeah. We were at the Metreon.
You guys are making me hungry.
And he got this. And he was so excited. He had his like fish with his ice cream, and he was so excited that he dropped the whole thing on the floor.
Oh, my son did it many times. Just don't even talk about it. Yeah, the matcha ice cream always a long line, right? Everyone wants those. There are quite a few. One on the Daiso side, at least, and there are a couple of them on the other side. So if you see a long line, go to the other one. That's what I think.
I need to make it over there. I mean, I haven't been there in such a long time.
You want me to give you a tour one day?
Yeah.
I can show you everything.
That's so busy there. Don't go on the weekend.
Okay. Yeah, the weekend.
I'll go during the week. Yeah. That's the great thing about being a real estate agent. Like, we can work our schedules in such a way that we can go to places when nobody else is there.
Salt and straw.
Yes. What's your favorite?
Yeah, from Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh, is that from Oregon?
Yeah.
I thought it was California thing.
No. It was originally started in Oregon, and then it moved down here. I think that in Portland is where the inaugural shop was.
I'm at the honey lavender.
Oh, honey lavender sounds awesome.
Do you know at Thanksgiving time they do one that's turkey and cranberry?
Ew.
It's ice cream with turkey and cranberry.
I really want to eat that.
Actual turkey in the ice cream.
So turkey. What were they thinking? That just doesn't make any sense.
It's weird and like quirky. That's how you know it's from Portland.
Yeah. They're even more quirky than us.
Oh yes, Portland is much more quirky than us. They win that for sure. So there's a new place called Gina Bakes. It's also, I haven't figured out what they make. So I saw the sign, I saw the line, but I need to go back to figure it out. Nijiya Market.
Nijiya Market.
Yeah, you go there often, I'm sure.
So there are so many supermarket around here to get food. It's really easy. Like Molly's up there.
That's right. Molly
India
stores.
for your Asian stuff.
Yeah.
And then Bayraya's down the street on Divisadero. Trader
Right.
Joe's is up the hill.
Trader Joe's, which one do you go
that's
to?
just right there.
The one Masonic?
Masonic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really just right there.
Just
Oh, that's right. You're only a few blocks away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So location's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to Nijiya for sushi.
Oh, yeah?
Those pre-made sushi.
Okay.
Oh, they are just
Very
as
good.
good as any restaurants.
Really? All right.
They're also pre-made food. You can also and sashimi and fish, but you can also order sushi platter. What I used to do for parties.
Oh.
You can order a big tray of sushi, much more reasonable than what you would get in a restaurant, for example. So if you have parties.
Do you have to order it ahead of time
for
or
the
they have
platters?
it prepared?
For the platters, you can order ahead of time. But in a couple of days. It's not
so
too
cool.
bad.
I
Yeah.
didn't know
So
that.
it's pretty awesome. They have different options.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite places to shop. They have all kinds of Japanese stuff. Very cool place. The face shop. I don't know. Anyone been to the face shop? It's all the
That's
face
a
stuff.
Korean
That's right.
beauty shop.
Oh, is it?
Right?
Yeah. And they have quite a few. I mean, face shop is one, but there's so many in the mall. The thing about the mall is it has so many stores. So many stores.
I mean, we couldn't even begin to
No,
touch
we
on all
cannot
the
even,
stores.
but
It'd
there are
be
a lot
crazy.
of things, all different things. There's
You wanted to join the conversation.
if you like anime, there's a lot of animation stuff, cosmetics, bookstore, major bookstore, really big.
Okay.
Kinokuniya. I guess that's how you say it. Kinokuniya. Yeah, it's like 2 floors.
There's a bookstore, independent bookstore, part of the Green Apple on Fillmore.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Browser
Book?
Books
Okay.
is the bookstore.
Yes,
Don't
we
worry.
can.
It's Sacramento and Fillmore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so technically Pacific Heights.
Oh, is that right?
California is the dividing line.
California.
But
So then Salt and Straw is
That's also
yes. I mean, it all kind of, these are arbitrary dividing lines.
That's
I
okay.
mean, it's like all within walking distance.
Exactly. Like, what are the things that you're
Yeah.
easily getting to? So one of the places that isn't really a restaurant or any other thing like that is a local business that's a real gem for the area and for the city as a whole is Yuri's, which is a lighting place. I don't know how long it's been around, but I think it was probably there before I was born, which at this point is a long time ago.
So I got these light from Italy that needed the to convert the plugs.
Okay.
And then he did it in one afternoon.
He converted them
from
the
plugs from
European
the
to the US.
Yep. And then like asking me a question that I didn't know I needed to think about how to convert, because I just got the fixture without any on and off, and he was asking me like, do you want me to connect the on off switch, or how are you going to turn the lights on?
Like, I don't know.
I was just going to plug it in. He's like, yeah, if you plugged it in, how do you turn it on off? Yeah. So he was asking me this question, and he sharpens knives too.
Oh, does he? I didn't know he sharpened knives, but I do know that, on multiple occasions when I, as a real estate agent, we wear many different hats, and one of them is like renovator, right? And so we're trying to, I've got an old house with an old fixture that has like a circular globe, shade type thing. And, I was looking all over the city, couldn't find anything. Of course, he had it. He had every kind of shade for every old light fixture you can imagine.
That's awesome.
And I told him the dimensions, and he's like, yes, come around down. And he was so friendly and helpful. And I don't know how much business he does in general, but it's like, there is nowhere else to go that does that. And we have so many, turn the century houses and with different types of lighting. And now that you've mentioned getting, lighting from Italy and trying to transform it into US. I mean, that is a very valuable service that AI cannot do for you.
No.
And that Walmart can't do for you.
I worry it's like a lost art in some way, right? He could just convert your things, and having inventories for really historic equipments.
And even just random things that you really need, and it should be easy, but there's just nowhere else to go.
You can't find
it. Just doesn't exist. You can't even find it online. So if you have any lighting needs at all, please support Yuri at the local lighting store, which is on Divisadero and
Between Bush and Pine.
between Bush and Pine. Please do that.
How about give us the address?
Okay, well, if you want an exact
I
address.
think that'll be
I
very
must say
helpful.
though, Yuri doesn't have dog treats, so my dog doesn't go
your
in
dog
there.
doesn't like to go
He
there.
doesn't like going
It's Yuri Lighting, right?
Your dog is very
Huh.
spoiled.
1849 Divisadero.
Yuri's Lights and Beyond, which we were just talking about, all of the Beyond thing. And it says Yuri and his wife Laya, I don't know how to pronounce it, have more than 30 years experience in the fine European tradition of custom lamp and chandelier restoration. So they're pretty unique in the world in what they do. And so anything that you need, custom lampshades, antique patina application, right? All of that stuff. Fixture modification. Go to Yuri's.
I'm just trying to think of other
Small businesses.
I think there's a clock shop up Bush. They fix clocks.
Yeah, Smith Clocks. Looks like people like them.
Yeah.
Looks like they have a unique business. So yeah, if you have a grandfather clock that needs some fixing or updating, by all means, local. Highly recommend you use local whenever possible. Okay, I think that's enough for businesses. At this point, we could go on and on. I mean, there's so many businesses. We're in this incredibly dense area.
Yeah.
But I did want to touch on live music, nightlife, bars, that type of thing. The Boom Boom Room. Has anybody been to the Boom Boom Room?
Where's that?
Over on Fillmore Street. It's like right by Fillmore and Geary.
Okay. Oh, that one in the corner?
Yeah, it's on the corner. It originally opened in 1933 as Jack's Bar at 1931 Sutter Street, and it was one of the first musical bars that catered to the African American community.
Yeah.
And it moved to 1601 Fillmore in 1988. And John Lee Hooker, who is a very famous, blues musician, he loved that bar, and he would go and sit, and there was a band that was kind of the regular once a week band that he loved, and he would go there. And the guy who is starting the bar and trying to get it going talked John Lee Hooker into letting him use his name. So it's John Lee Hooker's Boom Boom Room, but not giving him actually any ownership. So because people were worried if anything happens, they're going to sue John Lee Hooker. And there was all kinds of things like this, but lent his name to it. So John Lee Hooker loved that because he could be involved like as a figurehead, but not having to have any responsibility. And they just they have great blues musicians. It's a cool bar. My friend worked there waitressing for a little bit. It's an establishment. I know they've kind of gone in and out of favor over the years, but it is a great place to listen to blues music. And Harry's Bar, that's been around for, I think that's on Fillmore Street. And that's been around for over 40 years. And that's a place that a lot of people really like to go.
Yeah.
And then I can't forget, the Fillmore, right?
Yeah,
The venue, the Fillmore, which is where some of the best musicians in the world have played. Have either of you seen a show at the Fillmore? Yeah, I've seen some amazing shows there. And because it's a small venue and you can see really top talent in a small venue, they usually sell out really fast if they have a very kind of popular show, but it's a really cool place to catch a show.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I love the Fillmore. Any other kind of music bars, anything nightlife stuff, Tina, that you like to do around here when you're not working
if you want
diligently? Well, you don't need to go out anywhere. You have this beautiful apartment.
No.
She's always
Why
working.
would you? Yeah. Don't go anywhere.
Go. I mean, there is a wine shop that my dog loves.
Your dog loves the wine shop. What kind of dog is this?
Your dog's trained.
Because they always give treats.
Oh, yeah.
So he always brings me there.
Smart.
Yeah.
They lure your dog in, and next thing you know, you're out with a bottle of wine.
It's the Linden Market, but then I guess it's on Sacramento. And
Pacific
Heights. Yeah, but that's his favorite.
Okay. What's it called?
It's called the Linden Market.
Okay. London.
London.
Okay.
Yeah. He goes there. And then I go out to eat if I have time.
So
and then that's where I get my drinks and hang out with my friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And then There's events that happen in the area. There's a jazz fest. Have you ever been to jazz fest?
Yes.
Yeah.
I never
The
made
whole
it.
street on Fillmore.
Yeah. And that
That's
happens
great.
over 4th of July weekend every year.
Yeah.
The first one was 1986. And apparently it's the largest free jazz festival on the West Coast. So it's pretty cool to have that right down the street. And then, of course, there's the Cherry Blossom Festival, right?
Yeah, coming up in April.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully we get this out before then. So anybody hears it. I think April 12th through 13th is when it's happening this year. So so there's fun things to do. Are there any other?
There's also farmers market.
Okay.
On Saturday, on Fillmore on O'Farrell on Saturdays. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a good one to go to.
Yeah, there's a farmers market there.
Nice. And then, so talking about farmers market kind of makes me think about green spaces and things that are like parks. So you have a dog. And so where do you go around here?
So I could walk up to Alta Plaza. We could walk to Presidio, down Nopa, and go to the Panhandle, and also the where the painted ladies are, and then Lafayette too. And then, I mean, he likes to go to shop. He likes shopping more than green spaces because people people give him treats.
The dog, everybody heard that. The dog likes shopping more than green spaces.
Yeah, he never likes such a thing.
Yeah. But there's a bunch of green places up on the street. On Bush, on Post, there is a soccer field where like kids team on the weekend. There's a tennis court down there.
Raymond Kimball Park is right down here.
Down there too. And then there's a community center where there's a pool.
Oh, really?
On Post Street, Hamilton.
Yeah, that's right. Hamilton's right here.
Hamilton is there, and then there's free tennis court, as well as a soccer field on Post.
Nice.
Too. And library. There's libraries and little community street libraries, which is
along the street in front of people's houses.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. And so in terms of, we talked about the geography and how this is really very central and very dense. You've got easy transportation lines to downtown, the 1 California, the 2 Sutter, 38 Geary. You can get on the express. You can be out to the water, out to, the water on either side, right? I would say in terms of getting in your car and needing to go to the South Bay, or that those things can get a little bit congested and more difficult kind of moving around. But if you're on foot or on the bus or just need to get within San Francisco, it's pretty easy. Pretty good and central. You have a pretty easy time getting around.
And then if you go down to Visadero, you could cross the Golden Gate.
Yeah, you're in the North Bay pretty fast. Yeah, as I said, this is kind of, a lot of times this is my way into town, down to Visadero. And the weather here is pretty good. I mean, in terms of San Francisco weather, you don't get like the big, huge, you do get some fog, right?
I do get fog, but mostly in the summer.
Right.
Yeah, because right now, no fog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better than the Sunset and the Richmond, right? Yeah.
And up here where you are on the top floor, does it get hot in here?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't get too hot. It doesn't get too cold.
That's great.
AC too, right?
I do have AC, but I rarely turn it on because we were talking about how it gets very loud. So.
Oh yeah.
I just
heater.
Open the window.
That's why I used to love my gravity heater because it just rises.
Yeah.
But those things are enormous.
Oh, I know.
It's like a huge, big box. You'll see them in houses in the garage. They're like green and with asbestos ducting, and they're kind of a disaster. But they're sure quiet.
Yep.
So this is a great neighborhood to live in. We talked about a lot of different things. So if I were to ask you, Tina, like if you were talking to somebody who was thinking about moving to San Francisco, what would you tell them? What would your elevator pitch on
of this area,
this neighborhood be? What would you tell them about living here?
My bullet points would be, I like the location in terms of easy access, like you said, to everywhere in this city. It's quiet, but at the same time, it's accessible to the venues for restaurants, event spaces, parks all around. What else?
Shopping too, right? You get lots of shops along Fillmore.
People friendly in the neighborhood?
Yeah, people are very friendly. I feel safe in this area. Actually, this area is quite safe.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people around too.
Yeah. My parents are very happy that I ended up here
glad.
because
And with the elevator.
with elevators and they could walk to Japan Center and go to Nijiya and get their Asian fix. That part I like. And I think the walkability to shops, but not right over shop. That's what makes it most attractive to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad we found this place for you because, I mean, I feel like we looked a lot. We looked a lot and bounced around a lot. And I think
we were almost giving up. Right?
Almost giving up.
We
I would never give up. You were almost
I know, but I was like, oh,
you never give up.
We should take a break. And then next thing you know, this one came on right there. I'm like, okay, well, there it is.
Yeah. No, I think that it was meant to be. To take that long.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
So anything else? Any last words? No, I think that's a lot. I think we talked about a lot.
There's a lot of food.
A lot of food. And you're getting hungry. You're getting hungry. I know, it is lunchtime, isn't it? Well, thank you, Tina. We really appreciate you being part of our podcast adventure, the neighborhoods of San Francisco. And we will catch everyone on the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.